I'm glad you're here with us, and I'm really excited to go through today's topics with you and learn some cool stuff. What we have on the agenda today is this morning you had the lotus pose. Later today, you're going to watch a video clip of the composer of the day, which is Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And now it's a cool video that'll help you get to know the composer a little bit more. And then we have a video from Fantasia called A Sorcerer's Apprentice, and I think you guys will like that one. Today's project is the Listening Sounds Walk, so definitely go ahead and do that, and hopefully you'll have lots of sounds on your walk and enjoy it. And today we will have a story time, so definitely come back and watch that video with the story. So today's instrument of the day is the viola, and I have the viola right here with me. Yesterday we had the violin. That was our instrument of the day, and if you remember, it kind of looks like this viola. So you may be asking, what's the difference in between the two instruments? I mean, the viola has the chin rest, tailpiece, fine tuners, the bridge, fingerboard, scroll, pegs. We have the back and the front, the F holes, sound post. Everything looks the same. It might look a little bit bigger, but what makes a viola different is its strings. So our violin strings, if you remember it, is G, D, A, and E. Now, a viola strings, it is C, G, D, A. And it has three of the same strings that a violin does, but we don't have that high string, but we do have a low string. That C is very low. So that what makes a viola different is its lower strings. The viola has the same strings like the cello, and we will learn about the cello tomorrow. It has C, G, D, A. And a viola sounds like a cello, but looks like a violin. So viola is pretty cool. It has a bow. The bow is exactly the same. It's just a little bit heavier and has a round frog. A violin bow has a more square of a frog. So it's all the same. And you can do the same if you want to learn the strings of the viola. Do the same. Have the C string be cat, or what food starts with a C? Cantaloupe. But you can give them all names, and that can help you memorize the string names. So that is our instrument of the day. What we're gonna do next is we're gonna learn about a string player's posture. So a posture that a string player has is we have rest position, and that's what that looks like. And then we have playing position. And how to get into rest position, so you can go ahead and do this with your instrument at home, is you want to make sure that your feet are pretty spread apart. We don't want to go too far apart, and we don't want to go too close together, because if your feet are too close together, someone can easily tip you over. So you want to make sure that you have a good distance in between your feet and that you feel sturdy. What you're going to do next is you're going to put the chin rest of the instrument underneath your arm and just kind of tuck it there, and you hold your left hand by the neck, and then you can hold your bow and just let it hang there. What you need to do next is take the biggest deep breath you can. So in and out. Why we take a deep breath is that we need our shoulders to be super relaxed. So if we take in a deep breath, that way we have relaxed shoulders, and we want to be as relaxed as possible in a resting position, because we have to be resting. And when you're ready to go into playing position, what you do, so after you did big deep breath, you're going to slowly lift your arm and move the instrument on your shoulder, and then you place your chin down. Some of you guys might have a shoulder rest or a shoulder pad, whatever makes it comfortable for you. Just make sure that you're not really moving your shoulders or your chin like that. You just want to make sure that you're relaxed. And that is playing position. So it is very important for our musicians to have a very relaxed posture. Being relaxed makes it not as tight. If you're really tight, that's bad, and you're not going to like it, and you're not going to want to practice. But if you're relaxed, it's not going to hurt, and we definitely don't want you having a tight arm or your fingers hurting. So anytime you pick up your instrument to practice, make sure you are taking a big deep breath in and out before you play, to make sure that you are as relaxed as possible and you're all ready to play. Next, we're going to talk about the senses that we use as a musician. So yesterday, I mentioned that we have 5 senses: sound, sight, smell, taste, and touch. And as musicians, we use 3 of them that are really important. So today, we're going to talk about sound. Sound is so important, and that's, we listen with our ears. Sound is so important as a solo performer, or if you're performing with an orchestra or other people, because we need to listen to everyone else's parts, and we have to play as one, so as a team and a group. So sound is super important. Sound is how by listening, we can fix mistakes and we can make everything better. And that's how we can also listen for mistakes as well. So make sure anytime you're practicing, you are really using your sound, your sense of sound. It's super important, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to learn how to read notes. So we have 3 clefs. We have treble clef, bass clef, and alto clef. Treble clef, a lot of violinists will be playing in treble clef. Bass clef is what cellos and double basses play in. Alto clef is what the viola plays in. So you have 3 different clefs, and notes are going to be different in each clef. So treble clef, on the space, that note is called F. The next space, the note is A. The next space, it's C. Next is E. You can, as you see, it spells face for treble. And then on the bottom line, that is E. The next line is G. The next line is B. The next line is D and F. So you can do every good boy deserves fudge. So spaces is face. I'm going to write that down. Spaces, face. And then we have lines as every good boy deserves fudge. And that's treble clef. And we're going to write those out here as well. So I'm going to write my clef, and then I'm going to write the notes. So we have bottom C, we have, and this are all in the G string, bottom C, B, I did that wrong. Second line. So we take 2. So we have 3 clefs: treble clef, bass clef, and alto clef. Treble clef is what violins will play music-wise. Bass, cellos, and double bass. Oh, I'm gonna start over. Take 3. So we have 3 clefs. We have treble clef, we have bass clef, and we have alto clef. Violins will play on treble clef. Cellos and double bass will play on bass clef. And alto clef, that's where the violas will play on. So let's learn about each clef and their notes. So for treble clef, the space is F, A, C, E, and that spells out face. So you can know as spaces will be face. Now the lines is going to be E, G, B, D, and F, which can also be every good boy deserves fudge. So you can remember that way. Maybe that'll be easy for you by spaces being face and lines being every good boy deserves fudge. Now let's go ahead and write that out. So I'm going to write my clef. Again, we're in treble clef. I'm going to start with C on G string. Next, we're going to have D, so open D string. We're going to have E. We're going to have F from faces. We're going to have G. We're going to have A, B, C. So that is one octave, C to C. I'm going to write the note names underneath. So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And remember our musical alphabet, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So that's our musical alphabet, and anytime you get after G, you start over, as you can see here. F, G, A, B, C, and then it would continue. So remember your musical alphabet. And an easy way maybe to get started learning your string names is just to know the open strings. So open strings on the violin is G, which is a circle with 2 lines over it. D is another circle. A and E. And if you notice, all of these notes are on spaces. They're not going to be on the lines. So that's open, G, D, A, and E. That way, if you know your open strings, what D looks like, if you have a note, let's say we're looking at E, we know that D is underneath. It's that space right underneath the whole staff. And we know it's not going to be G string. So D is going to be anything above. So if we look at E, we know that it's a note above D. And same on with, if we're going to look at C, we know that open D is here, and then we're going to have another open string. And then we have A, and that's our next open string. So it's on A string. So I would suggest learning and memorizing your open strings, G, D, A, and E string, and that will be very helpful. Next, we're going to learn the alto clef. Alto clef, you can see the same thing. It still has face over here, and it still has G, D, B, D, F, A. So very similar things. If you notice, on treble clef, F is on the last space. On alto clef, it goes down 1. So we have F on the lines, A, C, E, G. So lines is going to be F, A, C, E, G. Or you can just have it as face. So treble clef, spaces are face. Alto clef, the lines is face. And then spaces, we have G, B, D, F, A. And if you see the same thing, that's one note lower in between the two. So as long as you know one clef, you can figure out the other. So those are the notes on viola, and if we write them out, I'm going to write out my clef. So we have F, we have G, we have A, we have B, we have C, we have D, and then we have E. So those are our notes for that. F, G, A, B, C, D, E. And it's just a note lower, like I said. All right, and then we're also going to look at bass notes, at the bass clef. You can see that once again, we're going a note lower with our F. So now, spaces is going to be F, A, C, E, G again. Or if you'd like to see it as ace and a G. It doesn't matter. Either way works. And then lines, it's going to be G, B, D, F, A. And it's still the same thing. We're just moving down a space or a line. So we can go ahead and write out those notes. So I'm going to write my bass clef. And then I'm going to start with F. I'm going to have G, A, B, C, D, E, and F. And that is an octave. G, B, C, D, E, F. And like I said, on your flashcards you will have treble and bass clef. You won't have alto clef. Alto clef is violas just use that clef, but for piano they use both treble and bass clef. So that's what you will have on your flashcards, and they will be very helpful. If you flip it on the back, you will see the answer to that note. So just quiz yourself, and like I said, memorize your open strings. If you know your open strings, you can kind of figure it out what note it's on. So that is all for today for note learning. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. Tomorrow we'll have a Zoom call, so you can always just ask any questions about learning notes, where if you want me to explain it in a different way for you to help you learn that. So I hope you guys learned a lot today and that you had fun. Be sure to check out the video about Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. There's some really cool facts about him. And watch The Sorcerer's Apprentice. It's a really cool short movie that it has to do with Mickey Mouse. And go ahead and go on that listening walk and see how many sounds you can hear and pick up on. And then tonight we're going to have story time. So I hope you guys enjoy and have a great day, and then we'll see you tomorrow.